Hello, Chippewa families. I'm Molly Hollahan, the principal of Chippewa Middle School, and I want to offer a special welcome to our sixth grade families who will be joining middle school for the first time, and a welcome back to our seventh and eighth grade families. We are very excited to have everybody as part of the Chippewa community. I wanted to share just a little bit about what our plan is specifically at Chippewa. You have received a survey from the district asking your family to choose between distance learning and a blended version, and I'm going to share a little bit more about each one of those opportunities. It also said in the survey to mark if you would like a personal phone call. Hundreds of people have marked that they would like a personal phone call, and so I'm worried that I won't get to them. So I'm hoping that this video will provide a lot more insight. And then if you continue to have questions, I will share a Google form so you can let me know what your questions are, and I can either answer them in a frequently asked questions document or create a second video or make some personal phone calls. So to get right to it, today's video presentation, I really want to proactively answer questions about the blended hybrid model, about our Friday Learning Plus days. I want to share a little bit about our safety protocols for in-person learning, talk about our distance learning model, and give information for families about how they would move between those models. So in the blended hybrid model, students would meet in person 2 days a week and learn online for up to 3 days a week. Students are going to report to school. We're going to create cohorts that will largely be by alphabet. We haven't yet set those cohorts. The yellow and blue cohorts will either meet Mondays and Wednesdays or Tuesdays and Thursdays. Our priority is that we would have families be able to send all of their children to school on the same days. So my children who go to Turtle Lake can also go at the same time as my children who go to Chippewa. When students are not in person, they will have work to do at home. We are asking students to only focus on 4 classes each day. So periods 1, 3, 5, and 7 on Mondays and Tuesdays, and periods 2, 4, 6, and 7 on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So a little bit more information about that. A day in the life of a blended learner. If a student is in the blue group, they will attend in person on Mondays and go to periods 1, 3, 5, and 7. They will be at home working on content on Tuesdays for periods 1, 3, 5, and 7. Then on Wednesdays, they go in person and they attend periods 2, 4, 6, and 7 and work at home on the content for periods 2, 4, 6, and 7 on Thursdays. They will participate in WIN activities on Fridays, which I will get to in a minute. For yellow students, it is the opposite. In person on Tuesdays, working from home digitally on Mondays, on periods 1, 3, 5, and 7. Same situation for being in person on Thursdays, but at home digitally on Wednesdays for 2, 4, 6, and 7. Periods 1 through 6 are 100 minutes long. Period 7 is 50 minutes long, but students will appear in person twice a week. I'm putting up the schedule. This is a rough schedule because we are going to stagger passing times, but you can see what periods 1, 3, 5, and 7 look like with the 100 minutes and 50 minutes of instruction for 6th grade and for 8th grade and for 7th grade. Those Fridays are Learning Plus days. We also call them WIN days, what I need. There's going to be on-demand instruction focused on the core content areas, so students can go deeper in the areas of math, English language arts, science, and social studies. It can serve as a catch-up day for students, either online or potentially we can arrange in advance for some in-person. Students that receive some additional supports, whether it's math or reading assistance, or they have special needs, or English language learners, it's possible that they would be coming to school on Fridays. And then in September, it is our intention that we would have all blended learning 6th graders come to school for an extended middle school orientation and some community building activities. So that's how we would use those days in September. We still can keep at 50% capacity with having our 6th graders come in and continue to just learn what middle school is like and to have some community building activities. I want to share some of the safety measures that we have in place for students and staff. Obviously, we have masks. Masks are mandatory. We're going to make sure that they're available to students and staff. We want to do a lot of education with our students to help them understand that masks are safer for everyone. It's also an act of kindness to wear a mask. I'm wearing a mask to protect you. You're wearing a mask to protect me. For our staff, we will have other forms of PPE, including face shields and having some desktop shields so teachers would be able to work with students and have some plexiglass in between them. Some students maybe have the opportunity to wear face shields as well. So we have nutrition services are going to offer typical lunch menu, but it's going to be grab and go. At lunchtime, students are going to have 30 minutes to eat. There will be a variety of socially distanced tables and spaces available. It's going to be in the cafeteria. We have a new commons that will be available. We've ordered picnic tables to be able to eat out at lunch. We will have markers down with green spots where students can sit and be 6 feet apart. So we can accommodate students that are eating with their grade level peers only, so 6th grade lunch, 8th grade lunch, 7th grade lunch, in all those spaces. We will have small staggered table groups that will queue up to get their lunches, ensuring 6 feet a distance in between each student. We are going to have arrival and departure plans that limit sustained interactions, so staggered arrivals and staggered departures, as well as staggered passing times. I put the schedule up there earlier, but we're going to allow by grade students to have slightly different passing times to minimize interactions in the hallways. We'll have hallways monitored. We have arrows that we can show one-way traffic. We'll have spaces outside of classrooms that show 6 feet of distance so students can line up. We will not be using lockers. Students will carry backpacks and their own Chromebooks. We will have minimally shared items. Students are going to bring their own school supplies with them. There's also going to be an electronic sign-in and sign-out sheet for when students need to go to the bathroom or go someplace else in the building, so we can track who is out of class and for how long, and make sure that we have a good sense of where everybody is. We will have cleaning protocols that include the daily rotation of desks used by students. We will have yellow desks and blue desks that will be marked as such, so we can do a deep cleaning of the yellow desks on the day that the students are in yellow, and then blue. We're going to keep the desks in the classroom to provide the 6 feet of distance. After each period, the student desks will be sanitized as the students depart. District and building custodial crews will do a deep cleaning each night. And our air quality systems have been upgraded. We have the high-grade filters, and it will be tested often. We do have a COVID coordinator and a response team. It's going to be led by our associate principal, Kate Bennett. And we're going to follow closely the MDH guidelines. We'll oversee the cleaning plan. We're going to ensure data privacy while also timely communicating any potential outbreaks, and we will engage in necessary contact tracing. There's been a lot of questions around this and how people will be notified. We will be consistent with MDH guidelines, and we will be consistent within the district about how we are sharing information with families. If families are choosing a distance learning only option, it will be full-time learning from home. We will for sure have the 4 core classes and some elective or allied arts classes. We're trying to offer the same courses that would be available in person, but there might be a few changes depending on numbers and teaching staff. There will be access to music instruction. It is unclear about which teachers are going to be doing only distance learning. So again, that's going to depend on numbers and staffing, but I know some families were curious about which teachers are doing what. And until we have the data back from our families about which model we're choosing, we can't staff for that quite yet. I do want to share that 70% of the time in a distance learning course will be meaningful opportunities, either live interactions with teachers or student-to-student interactions. Some families have asked, is this going to be full, like bell-to-bell teaching with a teacher live online? No, it's not going to be like that, but there is a commitment that there will be a substantial amount of live interactions with teachers and with peer-to-peer interactions, something that I know families were missing this spring. Distance learning is going to consist of live and recorded lessons, some pre-recorded content lessons so that students can access anytime, anywhere. Those recordings are going to be short, no more than 10 minutes. We commit to having a common platform and framework for families on how to access instruction and assignments. Each student has opportunity for meaningful engagement activities with their peers and their teachers on a regular basis. We do want to allow for a sufficient amount of time at the start of the year to be dedicated to building relationships with students, including peer-to-peer connections. For our families who choose a distance learning only model, it's still important that we build that community. We want to provide a variety of ways for students to show what they know, so conversations and videos, written Google Forms from pre-recorded lessons. And teachers are going to provide feedback to students in a variety of ways. And we will help families understand that feedback. I know this spring there was a little bit of confusion sometimes with what was coming out of Google Classroom and what was put into Parent View in terms of the grade book. And we will be clear with families on how all that will work. I am frequently asked about how a family can move in between models. If you're selecting the distance only option, a student will only be able to move to a hybrid model to the blended learning model at a natural break and if there is capacity. They are going to be two discrete groups of teachers, so it would involve changing teachers. If a student is in the hybrid model and they need to temporarily be in a distance learning situation for a few weeks or less, if a family member is sick or there's something that has come up, that can be accommodated within that blended learning model. So temporary distance learning is not a problem for a couple of weeks. If a student wants to move to distance learning for a long period of time, again, that could be done. We can go from blended to distance learning. It will require a teacher change as we're changing systems. So I know you have a lot of questions, and we want to do our best to answer them. So you are certainly welcome to call me or email me, or Catherine Bennett, our associate principal, our office staff, your child's dean. I'm going to submit to you a Google form so that I could try to gather some of those frequently asked questions and either answer them all at once in a document or another video, or I could call individuals. There is a lot of information on the district website. That's a great place to check to see if we already have an answer to some of those questions. But here is the bottom line. I know this is a really tough decision for families. I know that we're trying to make decisions with limited and evolving information. I always say that I am just so grateful to be part of the Chippewa community. I live here and I work here. It is my pleasure to serve this community, and I know that families are making some really hard decisions. And my commitment to you is that we're going to do the absolute best we can in a constantly evolving situation. We love your kids and we love having them in the building. We love your kids, and if they need to be working distance and be safe at home, that's okay too. We will do the absolute best we can. We appreciate how kind and gracious and patient everyone has been. We are looking forward to the 2021 school year. It's going to be a very different school year than we've really ever experienced, but we are going to make the best of it. Thank you so much and have a great day.